Hello, today we will study pointers in C. So before going to pointers, let us do a revision of what are variables. Variable is a name given to memory location. So that means if I declare int A is variable, int is data type of that variable. That means this variable A can store values of type integer. So int A is declaration of variable where A is the variable. So we say variable is the name given to memory location. So what will happen? A memory is divided into grids and each memory location has a unique address. That means each memory location will have a different address. So A will be stored somewhere in memory and that memory location will have a address. So a variable is a name given to memory location. Name of my memory location becomes A and that memory location will have some address. Now what is a variable? Pointer is also a variable, but this type of variable is used to store address of another variables. If I say int C, C is a variable and C variable will store integer values. If I declare a pointer type variable, then it is a variable, but what will it store? It will store address of some variable. So pointers store address of variables or a memory location. And as I said, each memory location has a different address. Now, how to declare a pointer type variable? Star is used to specify that it is a pointer type variable. Like you can see in these four examples that at everywhere I have used this star. This star tells you that this variable is of type pointer type variable and it will store addresses. Now, address will always be an integer value. We all know address will always be an integer value. It can't be float, it can't be character. Then how can I have char star ch? So see, first try to understand. The moment I write star dp, this dp becomes a pointer type variable and the data type is double. That means this dp will store the address of a variable and the data type of that variable is double. Similarly, over here, this IP will store address, but it will store address of a variable whose data type is integer. Similarly, come over here. As I said, always memory locations will always be a integer. It cannot be a character. So how can a pointer be defined as char? We are defining this pointer as char because ch is the pointer type variable. Yes, it will store the address value. Yes, but it is storing address value of a variable whose data type is character. Okay, so this is how we do declaration of pointers using star. So how do we use a pointer? The same way as you use any other simple variable, the first step is to define the variable, declare the variable and assign value to the variable. If it is an integer value variable, we assign integer value to it. Similarly, in case of pointer, we first define the pointer variable and then we assign address of any variable to this pointer, because remember, as I said, pointers are used to store address of variables. Now you have stored some address in the pointer. What do you want to do now? Now you want to access the value at that pointer, and to access the value at that pointer we use star. We will see this in detail in later slides when I will cover more of the programs. Then you will be clear about what is a star operator. As of now, remember, ampersand is an address of operator, star is a value of operator. Ampersand is a address of operator and star is a value of operator. Ampersand will give you address of any variable and star will give you value at that address. Let's say I have written int C I have written int c. C is a variable whose data type is integer. Now this variable will have some memory location. This variable c will have some memory address. Let's say, well, addresses are not so small, but still, to make it simple, let's say the address of this particular variable c is 100. Then to access the address of this variable, we use ampersand operator, and to access the address of this, we use ampersand operator. So if I write ampersand c, the answer would be 100. Why? Because it will give me the address of variable c. So if I write ampersand c, ampersand c means address of c. The address of c is 100. So the answer of ampersand c is 100. But if I write star ampersand c, it means this entire expression means value at address of c. Remember, star means value of operator, ampersand means address of operator. So star will give you value at the address. So this particular expression will give me value at address of c. And what is the value at address of c? C. Okay, so let's continue. So let me take an example. Over here I have taken the usual stdio.h file. I have main function, and I have this variable var, whose data type of this variable var is integer, and the value which I have stored in this variable var is 20. Now after that, I have taken one more variable which is IP. Now IP over here is a pointer type variable. The moment I say pointer type variable, that means IP will store addresses. Because I have written int var, var variable will store integer values. Because I have written star IP will always store addresses. And I have written int IP. Why? Because IP will store address of a variable whose data type is integer. So let's move on to the next line. Next line says IP is equal to ampersand var. Remember, I said ampersand is an address of operator. So what does this means? This means IP will store address of var. IP will store the address of the variable whose name is var. Okay, so okay, just give me a moment. IP will store, now look here, IP will store the address of a variable which is var. Now ampersand var is address of variable var. Star ampersand var, what will this means? Star ampersand var. What will this expression means? Remember, let's decode the expression. This expression means ampersand var. Ampersand var is address of var. And what does star ampersand var means? Star ampersand var means value at address of var. So let me try to explain it over here. Wait. So what do I mean is, let's take an example, x, a variable x. Variable x is stored in memory. When variable x is stored in memory, it will have some address. Let's say the address of this variable x is 10001, and this variable x will also have some value. The value of this variable x is 10. Okay, now let me demonstrate you the use of ampersand. If I write ampersand x, this means address of variable x. So the answer of ampersand x would be 1 triple 0 1. But if I write star ampersand x, that means I mean value at address of x. What is address of x? 1 triple 0 1. And what is the value at this address? 10. So this becomes star ampersand x becomes 10. This is exactly what we have displayed in this program. Okay, let's move on. So let me take one more example. So just like the previous example, I have a variable. Name of my variable is var. Data type of my variable is int, and the value stored in my variable is 10. So let us see the memory chart. So let us assume that this is the memory chart. Now value stored at this memory location is 10. Address of this memory location is 2008, and the name of this memory location is var. I repeat, the name of this memory location is var. Value stored in this memory location is 10, and the address of this memory location is 2008. So if you write, now see, int star ptr. Int star ptr means ptr is a variable which is a pointer type variable which will store addresses. Now what we have done, int star ptr is equal to ampersand var. That means in ptr we are storing address of var. What is the address of var? 2008. So what would be the value of ptr? 2008. I repeat, in ptr I am storing address of var. How do you come to know this? Look here. ptr is equal to ampersand var. Ampersand means address of operator. So if ptr is equal to ampersand var, ptr is equal to address of var. Address of var in this case is 2008. So what would be the value of ptr? The value of ptr in this case would be 2008. Now, star PTR. What is PTR? PTR is ampersand VAR. And if I find out the value at ampersand VAR, it is 20. So, the star PTR will be 20. Now, let me try to explain this using some more examples. So, let's take this example, a very simple example in which I have taken an integer x. Now a variable x whose data type is int. If you want to print the address of x, so we use ampersand, address of operator. So very simple, print %p comma ampersand x. Why have I written %p? We write %d if it is integer, but right now we are printing address. So to print address, we write %p. So a very simple small program. I've taken a variable x and I'm printing the address of that variable using printf function. Let's take a little more difficult program, continuing with the previous one. So again, I have a variable x. Data type of variable is integer and the value stored in this variable is 10. Now you can see here x is equal to 10. Next line, int star ptr. What does this means? This means ptr is a pointer type variable, which means ptr will store addresses. Okay, but then why have I written int? Because this means ptr will store address of a variable whose data type is integer. Come to next line. ptr is equal to ampersand x. We said we will store address in ptr. Ampersand x means address of x. So what value is stored in ptr? Address of x. Let's say address of, if the address of x is 1000, then what gets stored in ptr? 1000. And just try to understand why I had written int ptr, because ptr is storing address of x, and what is data type of x? Int. So int star ptr. If the data type of x was float, then over here instead of int we would have written float. Now one more program to demonstrate the use of pointers. In this case, I have taken a variable. Data type of that variable is int, and the value stored in that variable is 10. Now again, I am taking a pointer type variable, ptr. You can give any random name, x, y, z, a, b, c, whatever you want. So the ptr is a pointer type variable, and again int, because it will store the address of integers, integer type variable, and ptr is storing the address of var. See, ampersand var, that means address of var. We are simply printing printf value of var is equal to star ptr. Now let's try to understand this. We are writing star ptr. So star, I'm putting a bracket to make it simpler for you. Star ptr. What is ptr? ptr is ampersand, sorry, getting very bad handwriting. Okay, let me try again. Just a moment. Yes, so this says print star ptr. So I have written star, and then within bracket I am writing what is ptr. ptr is ampersand v a r. Look here, ptr is ampersand var. So what is star ampersand var? Remember, ampersand var is address of variable var. Star ampersand var means value at address of var. Value at address of var is 10. Now this will give you a better understanding. Again, see. Okay, look here. So this is my variable var. Value stored at this value of this variable is 10, and this is the memory location. So if I print ampersand var, this will give you this address. If you write ampersand var, it will print this address. But if you write star ampersand var, then what will it print? It will print the value at this address. And you can clearly see over here, what is the value at this address? 10. So 10 gets printed. Okay, so by this we have covered what are pointers, how to declare a pointer, how to use pointers. We have studied ampersand operators, we have studied star operator, and we have seen few programs how to use ampersand and star. Thank you. Thanks for watching.